Alright, in my last video I told you guys I wasn't going to make another prediction until after E3. I'm not here to talk about what character, and I'm sticking to that. So what I'm going to talk about instead is my thoughts on E3 so far, but before, I will say a few things that when it comes to Smash character, part of the reason why I'm not making any more predictions is because I just can't. There's just no way to know, and at this close to this soon, I don't want to get super hyped for something that I have no idea what it's going to even be, because at this point, what this season has taught me is that you should start to expect the unexpected, and just because something is the most likely doesn't mean it's going to happen. What's really happening is that if you follow the you follow the breadcrumb trail, you might end up finding something, and that's where we got Sephiroth, and that's where we got Rex and Pyra. You know, I said a while ago, Season 2, there's going to be spirits, and I always said Rex might be one of them. After ARMS was announced, I was like, well, I don't think they're going to do ARMS and Pokemon and Geno and Rex and Pyra. Well, Geno was deconfirmed, and a lot of people are saying there won't be Pokemon because there's been a lot of Sword and Shield spirits already put in Smash, and Fire Emblem Three Houses didn't have those spirits, And again, it's not that spirits deconfirm, it's just that usually when they put a new character in, they bring a lot of spirits with them. And so the spirits didn't deconfirm either ARMS or Xenoblade 2, but if they're going to add on, the thing is, those ARM spirits and those Xenoblade 2 spirits, they were in the base game. The Pokemon spirits weren't, They could have done an event when Fire Emblem Three Houses came out to put Fire Emblem Three Houses spirits in the game, but they didn't do that. So all I'm saying is that, and honestly, I think all of us are okay with not having a Pokemon. I don't think anyone wants it. I don't think it's going to help the sales of Pokemon Sword and Shield at this point. I think, honestly, what they should be doing is focusing on the next Pokemon games, and they probably don't need to include that in Smash anyway. So I think Pokemon is fine in Smash right now. There's really no need to add another one. I think Nintendo has enough reps as it is with ARMS and with Xenoblade 2. I don't think we need another Nintendo character, but it's always likely. It's always possible. It's never like, I could see them do 3 Nintendo and 3 third party, but the best case scenario, of course, would be 2 Nintendo and 4 third party. But that's all I have to say about that. Like I said, there's really no way to tell at all who this character is going to be. Sephiroth was and Pyra, those were both characters who had breadcrumbs since the day the game came out, and we all were like, yeah, but they're just breadcrumbs. Neither one of them were that concrete. So I'm not here to say when you follow the breadcrumbs for other characters, it's not as for me the big ones were Pyra and Sephiroth. So at this point, I don't know who we're gonna get. I think it's only going to be one character reveal, and because it's E3, I'm hoping it's a big one, but they have already revealed, I think Sephiroth and Steve are probably the 2 most hype characters they've done in Smash Ultimate, so they kind of already outdone themselves here. I don't know I don't know who's left unless they really go for the stars and go for one of the big guns, one of the really requested characters, and for me, that means Crash Bandicoot or Doomslayer, but I don't necessarily think that's who they're going to get, because it just makes no sense to me. But I mean, Crash has a chance, but I think Doomslayer has less of a chance. Besides that, I don't think they're going to do Sora because they already have Sephiroth. Though if they did Sora and Sephiroth in the same pass, I think people would lose their shit. Honestly, it's funny though, because the 2 characters I would really want the most are Sora and Master Chief, but I don't think either. We already have a Microsoft character, and we already have a Square Enix character. Sora technically isn't Square Enix, but that would be kind of groundbreaking if they put Sora in. But Sora would be a good one to end the series on, because he would break the rule that, they have to be, they can't have, outside stuff, I guess. Sora's in a very middle ground gray area where he is not from a TV show or a movie. He's from a game, but his game is so based around movie properties. But, it seems like they break this rule sometimes in Smash anyway with anime stuff. And even Cloud has a lot of inspiration from his movie version, same with Sephiroth. So it's this weird thing, but I don't know. But either way, there's really no way to be able to possibly tell who the next character will be. I'm just excited we're finally going to see him. So the reason why I'm making this video is because not just to get that off my chest, but also because E3 this year, I'm making this before the final two presentations of Nintendo and Bandai Namco. There might be another presentation, but those are the two I really care about. The ones I cared about were Capcom, Nintendo, Square Enix, and Microsoft, just because sometimes Microsoft will reveal something really badass. Like, I think Microsoft were the ones who revealed Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think they were the ones who revealed Devil May Cry 5. So Microsoft every so often has something baller to reveal. This year, they didn't really reveal anything. Microsoft's entire presentation was more or less just showing things we already knew about, but, giving us updates on them. So, like, yes, we saw Starfield, but we didn't really, and we saw Outer Worlds too, but we didn't really. Thing is, we knew Starfield was coming, and what they showed was pretty much nothing. What I'm interested in is if Starfield will actually be something different enough from the other Bethesda games. And I'm talking about, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Will it actually play different from those? But apparently, it might be an Xbox exclusive. And if that's the case, well, I ain't got no Xbox. So, I have the Xbox One. That's it. I don't have anything past that. So if that's the case, I won't be playing it anyway. And after that, they didn't really talk about, there was nothing really from Bethesda that was important to me in the slightest after that. There was nothing really important to me. I think the most hype I was the fact that Yakuza Like a Dragon is now on Game Pass, because I just like that game. I already bought it, and I want people who haven't bought it yet to finally play it, because it's a great game, and I want people to buy other Yakuza games. That's the only thing I care about. That's the character I want in Smash. I want Yakuza in Smash. I don't care if it's Kiryu. I don't care if it's the new guy from Like a Dragon, because Like a Dragon's the one I play more. I think Kiryu would be a better character because he's the more iconic character, obviously. But they put them in as Echo Fighters. That'd be awesome, honestly. But I don't think they're going to do that. I would just love to see Kiryu in Smash, because I think Yakuza deserves it. But it's not always about what game deserves it. It's about what game character is a cool enough character for Smash. A lot of it has to do with that character, not so much the game. So I would love it if we got Kiryu, but, I don't know. But either way, when we talk about Microsoft here, they showed two things I was really happy about. Because when they showed Halo, yes, it looks like Halo, and it has some of the features from Halo Infinite, like the grapple hook. Okay, big deal. Like, it's just things we kind of knew. They had to show it eventually. I mean, fuck, we had to see it eventually, but it wasn't anything like that blew my mind, because it's just Halo. I know it's coming, and I know what it's going to be like. I'm excited. I'll play the damn game. It's cool that the multiplayer is free to play. That means no one's going to buy the single player, but all of us are going to have the single player because we pay for Game Pass anyway. So, yeah, that's kind of weird, but sure. So, they're not really losing anything by making it free to play, because everyone will just be playing it on Game Pass. So, it really is fine. Honestly, if anything, it'll mean it's cheaper to pay for Game Pass to play the Halo single player than it is to buy all of Halo. Honestly, if they're making the multiplayer free to play, then I don't know how they think they can get away with making the single player like $70 or $60. They need to make it $30 if they're just not going to include the multiplayer, but whatever, dude. Hopefully, if you play the single player, you unlock content for multiplayer. But Halo 5 didn't have that stuff in it, so I kind of doubt they'll even do that. Either way, the only two things that really stood out to me about Microsoft was Psychonauts 2 and Back 4 Blood, which are two projects that we all knew were coming. We all know much about. We all know a lot of details about them. Psychonauts 2, though, that trailer just looked really freaking cool. Psychonauts 2 is probably going to be amazing, and it comes out in August, which is not very far from now. So that's exciting. Besides that, that was it. Yeah, just Back 4 Blood and Psychonauts 2. Everything else, I just really couldn't care about. I know some people are excited for Stalker 2. Thing is, Stalker, I have them on Steam, and I know people think Stalker's a really big deal, but when I played Stalker, I just didn't really get into it, and honestly, I'm just not in the mood for all these shooters. I don't think playing shooters on consoles with controllers is very fun. I like playing shooters on PC, and when that's the case, I want to play a very narrative-driven game, and there hasn't been any. The last shooter I played that I really, really enjoyed was I rebooted up Half-Life 1 and had a blast, and that's pretty much all I care about. I have Doom Eternal on my PC, and I'll probably play that one next. But, I mean, that's the thing. I don't really care about shooters that much anymore nowadays. Unless it's, really, really cool story-driven immersive, makes you feel like you're there, something like that, then I'll care. So after that, let's see here. Capcom presented today, and it was completely missable. There was nothing in it that I think anyone cared about. Yes, Village DLC is cool, but the thing is, they didn't show what it was. So I literally am like, okay. I mean, I'm glad to know they're making it, because I was never like for certain. I was never for certain they would ever make Village DLC. But I mean, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care. I mean, show me the DLC and then I'll care. But at this point, I don't care. Besides that, Capcom didn't really show anything, I think, that anyone cared about. Yes, they showed new Monster Hunter stuff, but it's not like they didn't show a new game, you know? And that's the thing, a lot of this E3 has been like that. They didn't really show new games, you know? Now, Square Enix came hard. Square Enix actually got the memo. Problem is, they only showed 2 games, really. And one of the games is Guardians of the Galaxy, and I actually thought it was the Marvel game, which I have the Marvel game. I bought it for $20. I beat it. And I kind of thought, I was kind of like, oh, cool, they're going to add Guardians of the Galaxy to the Marvel game? That's cool, because I already own it, and all the updates are free. This is going to be a brand new game, but that might be a good thing, because a lot of people don't want to play that Marvel game. That Marvel game has a weird template, a weird Destiny armor-based system that I think ruins the entire game, and this whole loot system. I really wish they would have just focused on the main game. The thing is, they made this game, and then like Anthem came out and failed miserably, and it was kind of like the warning sign to be like, hey, don't make these kinds of games. The problem is they were already working on this kind of game for a long time, and I think they thought, well, if we put Marvel on it and we make a competitor with Destiny, then people will play it. Nah, not gonna happen. I think people honestly steer clear from these kinds of games. The only people who are going to play the Destiny-style games are the people who are already playing them, and you're not going to make any new like hardcore fans who just pour money into your game like that with all the loot crate systems. They're not going to do that. So the only people who are going to really do that are the people who are already playing Destiny, and they have too much money sunk into Destiny to change their commitment. No one's going to just swap over to playing a Marvel game, you know? Most people, like, I play the Marvel game, but I don't play the online. I just play the single player, and then that's it. And I always get that itching feeling of maybe I should keep playing to unlock more costumes. But, I mean, what am I going to do with those costumes? Nothing, because I don't even want to play the game. So, but when the Black Panther DLC comes out, I'll hop on and I'll play it. Yeah, I'll play it. This Guardians of the Galaxy game, however, is a single-player game, no multiplayer at all. And you can only play as Star-Lord, which really turned me off, because to me, the whole point of the Guardians movies and of why it's so good is because all of the characters together as a family. I don't watch the movie and say, I want to be Chris Pratt. I don't watch that at all. If anything, I definitely don't relate to Chris Pratt. If anything, I think I relate to someone else. I don't know. I probably would relate to Rocket the most, I guess. But the reality is that they're all kind of characters I don't relate to. I don't watch it to relate to them. I watch it because they're cool characters. You know, I watched this thing that I was watching people talk about Power Rangers, and they were talking about it, and they were like, oh, yeah, in Japan, they're like ancient warriors. In America, they're teenage boys and girls, because in America, we can't watch anything without trying to pretend we could be that someday. But in Japan, they know better. They know they're just a cog in the machine, and they're just trying to enjoy the story. And I kind of agree. I don't really need to feel like I can be the guy. And the thing is, that's why I think, yes, that's why Spider-Man is popular, because a lot of people identify with Spider-Man and want to be Spider-Man, but so do women, and so do everyone of every color, and that's why they eventually made the Black Spider-Man, that's why they made Spider-Gwen, because everyone relates to Spider-Man, because he's just a normal high school boy with amazing powers. So what if you, a normal high schooler, had the amazing powers? Same with Power Rangers. You're just a high schooler, and you got the amazing powers, but the reality is, I don't need to watch something just to feel like I could be that person someday, especially not a fucking spaceman. I don't need to watch it and be like, if I was in space, I would do this. I would be a funny boy like Star-Lord. No, I don't give a fuck. I don't live that fantasy. So in this game, you're playing as Star-Lord with this really douchebag haircut. The most douchebag haircut I've ever seen on a Marvel character, and it really turns me off. However, I think Gamora and Drax look really cool. I think the graphics and art style in general looks really good. The colors of this planets captures the feeling of the movies really well. And the dialogue and comedy has been pretty alright from what I've seen in the trailers. And I do like that you get to command your team mid-battle. Kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And there's different choices, sort of like the Telltale games. So that's cool too. There's a lot of things going on here to make me appreciate what they're doing. But I just wonder, because the gameplay looks a little bit too similar, like the Marvel game. So I just wonder if it really will have something in it for me. Because if the gameplay looks that stiff, like the Arkham and Spider-Man games get away with a lot of the stuff because the gameplay is so fluid and perfect and so much fun to wail on people, so much fun to dodge and counterattack and use your gadgets, use your web, all that stuff. And if you can't do that stuff, you only, then I don't know what we're here for. And it looks like they're trying to make this very similar to Arkham meets Uncharted or something like that. Just play the Spider-Man game. Spider-Man is really good. Both the Spider-Man games on PS4 and PS5, the regular one and the Miles Morales one, are both really good. Play both. Can't wait for a true sequel. And yeah, besides that, Square Enix showed one more little game that everyone made rumors about and everyone got really excited for, and that was Final Fantasy Origins. And my opinion on Final Fantasy Origins is, I don't know what to think. Everyone was hoping it was going to play exactly like Neo, but with Final Fantasy stuff. And what we got was something very strange. It doesn't really look like Final Fantasy or Neo. It's a very gray, dull-looking game. And the main character is wearing a normal button-up shirt and like jeans, or like black jeans or something. And luckily, it looks like if you have a different class, your look looks a lot different, that's similar to a Souls-like game, that you have different classes you can play as. And this makes sense because in Final Fantasy 1, you pick your class for each character and then you go forward. So if it's like that, that would be really cool. But the thing is, it doesn't really look like... It's not really trying to go for the look of Final Fantasy 1, even though it's like a remake of Final Fantasy 1. The armored guy at the end, they're calling him Chaos in Garland. He's the final boss of Final Fantasy 1, and he looks very similar to his Dissidia design, which is really cool. When I saw him, I instantly recognized him. But why couldn't the Warrior of Light have a more traditional Warrior of Light armor? Maybe in the game you will get that. Maybe it'll be later on. Maybe it'll be something else. But what I'm hoping is that when you start out, you're wearing the t-shirt and pants. And then as you go on, you get armor, and it goes over your normal clothes. Also, I don't know, maybe it just depends on your class, but that everyone is making fun of the look of this game. The visuals are just not exciting at all. The graphics don't even look very good, but the character designs are terrible. And the funny thing is, it's Tetsuya Nomura is the one doing the designs. I feel like people just can't tell him no. But why would you make this rugged, tough dude as the main character? I don't know. It's really weird. I don't need to be flamboyant or normal or like Cloud or like anyone else. I would like it if he just wore armor. I would like it if he just actually wore armor. He looks like he's in the modern day. So it's really weird. It's a really weird idea for a game to make a spiritual remake of Final Fantasy 1 where the rules and everything's way different. It's like, why even call it Final Fantasy at this point? Because it's not Final Fantasy at all in any way, shape, or form. The only thing it has in common with Final Fantasy is that there's the Warriors of Light, and they're going to fight like the darkness. That's it. It's the Warriors of Light. That's it. The character designs are just... Not only is that guy bananas, but there's that other guy with pink hair. It's just sort of like there's three characters, and they look like they're all three from different games. It doesn't make any sense. So, honestly, I don't want to shit on it too much because the gameplay looks kind of fun. Even though it looks nothing really like Souls games or Neo, it could still be cool. We just have to see more of it. And that's my whole thing. I just want to see more of it because the Square Enix didn't really deliver here. And that's sort of what I'm getting at here. So far E3 has been kind of lackluster. I think Square Enix still won because they've shown the most of something to be excited about. Obviously, yes, I watched Ubisoft, but the most exciting thing to me was Mario plus Rabbids. I saw the demonstration of them playing Rainbow Six, fighting aliens and stuff. Whatever, I don't care. I don't care about that shit. So, to me, besides Nintendo, Square Enix is the winner. This is because Nintendo is often my winner every single year. And even when they don't show Smash, Nintendo seems to wow me and win me over. Nintendo just always has really cool games, and they're the kind of games I'm more into. So, that being said, obviously Nintendo's probably going to win tomorrow because they're just going to show a new Smash character. and I've never been disappointed by a Smash character yet. I've enjoyed all of them. Oh wait, never mind. I hate the one from ARMS, and I'm still kind of sleeping on Steve. People are trying to convince me Steve is awesome, but I'm still sleeping on him. So yeah, as long as it's nothing like that, like a Fortnite character or some other Nintendo character that nobody wants, nobody asks for, then it should be fine. It's E3, so I don't think Nintendo's going to disappoint. I think though, as long as it's something cool, like it could be Crash, it could be Master Chief, it could be Doomslayer, it could be a lot of different characters. And I mean, I would even take the Tales of character at this point, but no matter who it is, I'm sure I'll be excited. I'm hoping it's something like Chun-Li, something that no one can predict. If it's Chun-Li, that's the one I really want the most. Not only that, Nintendo's going to show Breath of the Wild 2, and Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to impress me because here's the thing. If it plays like Breath of the Wild 1, but with new mechanics, and maybe some different mechanics, maybe some things that were in Breath of the Wild 1 are different now. Me and my friend were discussing what if they make it to where your armor and your weapons no longer break, and there's ways to keep your weapons forever, or you just upgrade your specific weapons that you like gameplay style. Like, we were discussing sort of stuff like that. We were discussing crafting. You can craft certain things in Breath of the Wild, but they don't really have a crafting system where you can craft, like, weapons and armor and stuff. What if they introduce stuff like that? They could introduce a lot of stuff in Breath of the Wild and change the way the old one worked. Take all that stuff, put it in a brand new map, add a bunch of new mechanics. I would love... the thing about, for me, Breath of the Wild 1 was really fun when you got all the armored beasts and you could do like the super jump and you could climb things really faster. What if they do more stuff involving traveling and movement, change the way your movement works, make it feel different from the first game, but with very similar mechanics, put it in a brand new map, new environment. That way you're not exploring the same old place. And boom, you got yourself a fucking fantastic game. So I'm probably going to be very impressed by Breath of the Wild 2. I'm probably going to say something like, it was above my expectations. It blew me away. That's what I want to say. And if they show literally anything else besides Zelda, well, first of all, this E3 sucks so much that if they just show Zelda or a Smash DLC character, they automatically win. But if they show something else even beyond those two things, whether it be Mario Kart 9, whether it be Metroid Prime 4, whether it be Bayonetta 3, if they show just something else that blows our minds, that becomes the real winner, then they have saved E3. As of right now, the thing I'm most excited for from all of this was not even at E3. It was Elden Ring, which was shown at Summer Games Fest. Now, Summer Games Fest kicked off E3. It happened before E3. But so far, that's been the coolest looking game that's been debuted at all. And most of these games haven't even been debuted. Only Square Enix was the only one who seemed to get the memo that you're supposed to debut stuff. So, in the reality of things, yeah, Elden Ring is the real winner so far, and that's not good. But the funny thing is, Sony skipped E3, and they might have made the right decision because E3's been so lackluster, but they did a presentation last month at the end of May that showed off gameplay of Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't even played Horizon Zero Dawn because it came out the same time that Breath of the Wild came out. But I gotta say, it looked so good. And the thing is, it was a gameplay demonstration, not just a cutscene. Like, Microsoft didn't show any gameplay except for Forza. Sony showed gameplay for Forbidden West, and it looks phenomenal. It just looks amazing. I'm a believer now. It makes me want to go back and play Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have on my PS4 installed right now. I have on my PS5 installed right now. And I'm just really excited for Horizon. I'm very excited for more from Sony. And that's not good. They weren't even at E3, But to me, Sony's always one of the better ones at E3. Nintendo's always one of the better ones at E3. Square Enix never really shows anything that I care about, despite the fact that it's Square Enix. I'm pretty sure they showed Final Fantasy VII Remake during Sony's E3. And I think they showed more of it during their E3 later. But yeah, for the most part, it's like Sony's always the one you want to watch, not really the individual third-party companies. But sometimes Microsoft will show something cool. Microsoft didn't show anything cool this time. It's a bummer. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just a bummer that Microsoft didn't really bring it. And Sony wasn't here. And I think that's why people aren't getting super excited, because normally the huge announcements are all the Sony ones. So, and then Nintendo. Sometimes Nintendo kills it, sometimes they don't. I think they've killed it the last 3 years, because they didn't present last year really, because E3 didn't exist. But they did a few directs here and there. I think that they killed it the year before with Banjo and Hero being revealed, and the one before was the Smash stuff, and the one before that I can't remember, but the one where they showed off Mario Odyssey for the first time, I remember that one, or not the first time, but they showed off a lot more about Mario Odyssey. That made me a big believer in the Switch. So, yeah, I think Nintendo normally they do really well without Sony here. Nintendo's really the only one we got to save the day. So here's to Nintendo saving the day tomorrow. And hopefully Bandai Namco, I don't know what the hell they're going to present, because they already showed off Elden Ring. So I hope we get to see more Elden Ring. I hope we get to see gameplay of Elden Ring. I hope we get to see anything of Elden Ring. I will be happy. Besides that, I don't know what the hell Namco's going to show, because Tekken is done with its DLC. Capcom didn't even show the next DLC character for Street Fighter, man. Come on, Capcom. You know, and the thing is, the last Street Fighter character is still secret. We don't even know who the last DLC character for Street Fighter is going to be. It's still a mystery. They didn't even show that. Capcom just kind of treated this like a general wellness check, just an update for it's not a big deal at all. It sucked. And that's how people are treating E3. It's just like a wellness check versus them showing us the coolest shit. So it's kind of disappointing, but what can you do? Anyway, here's to Nintendo tomorrow. Hopefully we get the character's really badass. Hopefully all the Crash Bandicoot fans, if you're out there, I hope you get what you want. That's probably the character I'm leaning towards. However, for some reason, I'm just thinking it won't happen, so I'm kind of trying to taper my expectations. I'm the guy who's always saying, don't go in too hype. But, honestly, I kind of hope Nintendo saves the day. However, because they're probably going to show Breath of the Wild 2, and that's what we've all been kind of leaning on, let's just chill, Let's just be probably going to be one Smash character and then Breath of the Wild 2 stuff. That's pretty much all we need to know about. They might show more Splatoon 3 and stuff like that too, but either way, let's just chill, all right? But, Smash character, so either way, good, exciting news, and hopefully the character comes out very soon. I have a feeling we'll get a Sakurai Presents either this weekend or the weekend after. I just have a feeling, and I bet you the character will come out that day. Just have a feeling. So that's going to be the best news. If they announce when the character comes out alongside the character. If we have to wait to know when the character comes out, I'll be sad, but it's about time. We get a character every season. Now it's June. It's summer. It's not spring anymore. It's time. We always get the character with Sephiroth, we got him the last... No, never mind. December was the first month. We get a character the first month of every season. Except Steve, I think, came out October, which is the middle month, but whatever. Either way, we always get a character. So, it's about time. It's about time for another character, I maybe the beginning of July, but I'm not going anything past that. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here because I have nothing left to say, and I'll see you guys on